Ladies and gentlemen, the die has been cast! For thousands of years they've laid dormant. And by thousands of years I mean some decades, but it doesn't matter! Who is the strongest one? The most powerful? And this goes back to some issues involving my last top 5 list. I made a short about this, but not all of y'all watch shorts, and also there was still some debate over this part of the short. See, I made a short because there were a lot of comments calling me a filthy liar on my last video, or the last top 5 list, rather, involving 2 separate matters. Now, the first matter involving 4449 and 4460, where I mentioned 4449 has no surviving sisters. We were like, no, this 4460 has been repeatedly disproven by me on the basis that 4460 is a GS6, not a GS4. These are 2 different models. They're not sisters, they are cousins. Okay? God. Anyway, but the other part of it was far more interesting and required far more effort by me to really figure out, because I don't like inaccurate information around here. I don't like misinformation. I don't like getting things wrong, though I do, on occasion, get things wrong. And if I do get something wrong, I'd like to correct it, because I don't want to be giving you guys lies. That's not what I do here, alright? There's too much misinformation on the internet already. I'm not going to contribute to that. I won't. And the issue was, I pointed out that Madam Queen is the most powerful steam locomotive in history by tractive effort, with a single set of driving wheels. But I got a lot of comments pointing out, no! Darkness, you liar! The Union Pacific 9000 class was more powerful than Madam Queen. Now, the problem I have with this is that they were basing that assumption based off of the numbers listed on the Wikipedia pages for both engines. And I don't really like using that as a primary source of information, because Wikipedia is Wikipedia. It's much better than it used to be in terms of editing and management, but it's still something that you might want to confirm via other sources. Anything on there, you know? This is especially relevant to me for anything involving Madam Queen, because even Wikipedia has the article listed under the banner of needing additional citations for verification. So, a lot on there should be taken with somewhat of a grain of salt. A lot of it's true, I can confirm that, but some of it isn't. And one of the things I call into question is the tractive effort given for her, which is 93,087 pounds of force. That would put her underneath the Union Pacific 9000 class, which had a tractive effort of 96,646 pounds of force. Not a tremendous difference, we're talking about a differential of about 3,000, but still, it's a difference. However, other sources for Madam Queen's ability place her much, much higher than that, at 113,087 pounds of force. The same source that lists that number for her lists the tractive effort for the 9000 class at the same 96,646, just like Wikipedia. Now, I had to do a bunch of checking around to figure out what the heck was going on here, because I wanted to do a deeper dive into this, because I did get a comment on the short of someone who's an editor for Wikipedia, pointing out that at least when it comes to the tractive effort on Madam Queen's page, that is verified via newspaper articles and things that are considered reliable sources. So then I was sitting there like, okay, that's neat, so we can't chalk it up to just Wikipedia being inaccurate in this instance. Then why the difference? Why do multiple verifiable sources have such a difference involving Madam Queen's tractive effort? And honestly, it's not a big deal to me whether she's the most powerful, on the basis that she'd still be tremendously strong even if she's underneath the 9000 class, and she's still gonna be one of my favorite steam locomotives ever, regardless of the truth of the matter. But I also want the truth of the matter so I can tell you guys what the accurate information is. Before we go any further, maybe I should also stop and take a moment to talk more about the 9000 class from Union Pacific, because they were only brought into this via comments. I didn't actually mention them in the video because I didn't think I had to. For one thing, The 9000 class Wikipedia page also has multiple issues, according to Wikipedia, so that's relevant. But in terms of accurate information about them, they were built by Alco for Union Pacific between 1926 and 1930, and unlike Madam Queen, who's a Texas type, a 210-4, constructed by Baldwin, and is considered under the superpower classification coined by Lima, the 9000 class are not underneath the superpower designation, as they were for 12 twos. Only 2 trailing wheels, not 4. But 12 drivers, and yeah, that's where their power comes from. The 9000 class are unique as they were the only class of steam locomotives ever to have a 412 two-wheel arrangement. They were tremendously powerful and could pull very heavy trains at a fairly decent speed up to 50 miles per hour. Now, Union Pacific was going to get away with having such a long, rigid set of drivers via the fact that a lot of their main lines were very straight and didn't have a lot of cornering, but they did have some cornering, and originally the plan was to have the third and fourth driving axles be blind to help the locomotives get around curves, but Alco had lateral motion devices installed on the first and sixth axles, which allowed them to slide up to 2 inches to either side. So they didn't have to make those axles blind. It also used the Gresley gear. Yeah, seriously. Originally, Alco had obtained permission to use Gresley's conjugated valve gear, and that meant that the 9000 class were the largest steam locomotives ever to use Gresley's gear, although it is worth mentioning that they would later be refitted, or at least some of them would. Between 1934 and 1940, 8 of the first 15 locomotives had the Gresley gear taken off, converted to a double Wolschaerts valve gear instead. However, some did retain their Gresley gears. The 9000 class that were constructed after 1928 utilized roller bearings in the Gresley lever bearings and didn't have to be converted. And the ones prior to 1928 that didn't have the roller bearings and weren't converted entirely were just given the roller bearings, so that also solved the issues they were having. So yeah, that was neat. And yes, they were tremendously powerful and pretty successful, all things considered. They also had the longest rigid wheelbase in North America in general, and the longest in the world until the Soviet Union built the AA-20, which was a 414-4, and it was just awful. In pretty much every conceivable way. She didn't work. What the 9000 class did. And despite producing a total of 88 of these things, Union Pacific only wound up preserving just one of them. The original prototype, number 9000, does still exist at the Rail Giants Train Museum on static display. She hasn't run in years, but she's there and safe, though she is outdoors and looking a little rough, not gonna lie. Maybe need a new cosmetic restoration, but in any event, that's the 9000 class, a basic overview. And back to the issue between them and Madam Queen. Which one was really more powerful? Did I figure out where the differential was coming from? Did I figure out why some sources list Madam Queen as more powerful and some sources list the 9000 series? What's going on here? Answer the question, Darkness. Are you a filthy liar? And the answer is no, I'm not. Though I concede I was missing some information, as are pretty much every source available. And that's why I admit what I'm about to say is more of a theory than actual confirmation of what's happened. But I'm 95% sure I'm right about this. Feel free to argue with me in the comments if you think I'm wrong. And to explain regarding Madam Queen and her tractive effort. Was it 93,087 or was it 113,087? The answer is that it was both. Both are technically right. And now you're very confused because now you're like, that's a difference of like 20,000. How can you say both are correct? Simple. Madam Queen had a booster unit. Yep. In fact, a majority of Texases did. It was pretty normal to stick booster units on the trailing trucks. And I believe what's going on here is that the sources that are listing Madam Queen's tractive effort are either not including the booster unit and not listing the amount with the booster unit, or are including the booster unit, but not clarifying that they're including the booster unit, and thus leading to immense amounts of confusion. Basically, what I believe is happening is that Madam Queen's tractive effort is 113,087 if she's using the booster. And if she's not, then it's 93,087, which does make a lot of sense. Frankly, a booster could supply that, in theory, and oftentimes whenever engines have boosters, they list the tractive effort separately, because in operation, Madam Queen wouldn't be using the booster all the time. Engines that had those usually only use them at starting or to go up steep grades. On level terrain, there'd be no need. I mean, she's already plenty powerful. At speed, the booster would be woefully unnecessary and kind of a waste of steam. But it was still there for if she needed it, and thus, that put her over the 9,000 class in terms of tractive effort. Admittedly, she also does have a lot more over the 9,000s, because she could go on more lines, she was more modern, had a lot of new features, superpower. I mean, yeah, but that is not to discredit the 9,000s. They did what they did and did it well, and, I mean, maybe some of you think using the booster is cheating in that case. And if so, then yes, the 9,000s would be more powerful if we just take into account the tractive effort via the driving wheels and not factor in any amount of booster. Usually, I do consider the booster, because while it's true that Madam Queen wouldn't be using it all the time, the point is, she could use it, it was a part of her, and therefore, it should count in terms of her total potential tractive effort. And to be clear, the 9,000s didn't have a booster at all. That was not incorporated in the design because, frankly, they didn't need it, like, at all. They were already plenty powerful with that many drivers, so, you know. In any event, that's what I think's happening, but again, that is a theory. I mean, it's not a theory that Madam Queen had a booster, and it's not a theory that no sources are mentioning the booster thing, or clarifying, like, the numbers involving the booster and everything going into that, like this. I'm pretty sure that we're just missing information when it comes to the booster in terms of how that associates to the total tractive effort and everything. You get it. That's what I think's going on here. Now, I could be wrong about that. That's possible. I don't think I am, but I might be. And if I am, then hey, I am. But I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. But maybe it's something else. Maybe there was some kind of mix-up. Maybe someone's wrong about something else. Maybe it has nothing to do with the booster. Maybe it's always missing information. It's always confusion. You'd think we'd know, being the fact that, you know, these engines are pretty well documented. But both Madam Queen and the 9000 class have a startling lack of specific and detailed information about them, because both have been somewhat forgotten, even among rail fans. Which is really unfortunate, because I think both deserve much more limelight, and perhaps we could settle this another way. Here's what we'll do. We'll return both of them to operation, and we'll have them fight to the death, using all of the unspeakable power they can muster. Or, no, we wouldn't want to damage them in any way. We could restore them both to operation. I mean, we could do that. I'm just saying, it's an option. I mean, fire up Madam Queen, you cowards, and hey, fire up number 9,000, you cowards. How about that? How about that? She's just sitting outside. They're both just sitting outside in the elements. You people need to stop doing this. Build a shack over them. Do something. Dang it. Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a farewell.